Welcome back to Suburban Black Girl, episode 49. Cheers. Is this tequila?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. I don't know why I was expecting Hennessy. It's okay.
God, my bad friend. I didn't even ask.
No, it's okay.
I just poured.
It's good.
Okay. My bad. Alrighty, guys. Well, today's episode, we are wrapping up our 4-part series, The Dilemma of a Woman in Her 30s. And today's topic is about love just hits differently after 30. So we're just going to be talking about dating in your 30s and how different that is due to just you being more self-aware, having more maturity, just obviously you evolve more as a person.
Yeah, becoming your own, coming into your own.
Exactly. So the quote is, most people don't meet the love of their life until after 30 when they're finally emotionally available. What are your thoughts on that?
The emotionally available part is interesting. To me, maybe it's more like emotionally ready or mature. Like confident within yourself. I think back to who I was when I was 21, 22, 23. And if I would have got married at that age, I probably would have been divorced by now. One, because I probably didn't have the strongest sense of self, not compared to what I am now, but also even like self-confidence and self-esteem wise, you entertain what you are in a sense.
Yeah.
And so, choice in men was not great either. So as you grow and evolve and mature, I feel like closer to 30, which is why you see a lot of those early first-time marriages end in divorce.
No, exactly. And I totally agree with you. If I would have gotten married, in my younger 20s, I'm not sure if we would last. And if we did last, I'm pretty sure I would look back and think, why did I do that? Just based on, the type of men I was dealing with back then. And back then versus now, I think I definitely was going for men that fulfilled me in other areas, but honestly not the right ones, right? I was more attracted to like how they like the physical attributes of a man, which is like so gross admitting that now, but we all go through that phase. Like, girl, he fine. It's like, okay, and what else?
Yeah.
But also I think a lot of the things I was accepting back then, I damn sure I'm not accepting now.
Exactly.
But that took, me, I think, building my own self-confidence. And then also a third thing for me was I was so big on like, ooh, let me be loyal. Let me stay down. Let me be his Bonnie and Clyde. Let me like, ride it out to the very end. And I'm like, why would I do that? But I felt as though that was a thing to do. It was like, no, you're going to ride. I'm going to stick beside him. I'm not doing that now. If it ain't right, I'm gone.
You said I'm going to stick beside him.
Well, let's get into some questions, shall we? Do you believe love comes when you're ready or when it's meant to?
When it's meant to, because I feel like that whole cliche, it happens when you least expect it, is true. And also it just happens when you stop looking for it. The second you like relinquish control or no longer care is like when it happens. So yeah, that's why I would say, when it's supposed to, when the stars align, when God's plan comes together.
I totally agree with that, because the times I'm like, oh my God, I'm ready. Yeah, I God would send me a man. I don't even want to say God sent me a man. A man would come and I'm like, what is going on? Who is this? The situations always work the best, but I do believe it comes when it's supposed to come as well. Just because I think when you put so much energy into finding a man, wanting love, you don't realize that you're actually attracting the wrong type of people and energies around you. And I think it is truly when you least expect it, because you're just so focused on yourself and in your own zone that when it comes, it just grows organically and you're not forcing anything. It's kind of like, yeah, I met this guy. Yeah, he wants to take me out. Yeah, we had a good night. Yeah, we text, we hang out. And it just grows organically. And I think there's been times where I really wanted love so bad and I would like force it so much to where it never stuck, honestly.
I agree with that. And I also just feel like, including myself, the people that like want it so badly and are looking, usually are the ones that are not ready.
Yeah.
It's focus on yourself.
Yes.
Look inward, because when you're vibrating high, then you'll attract what you need at that vibration.
Yeah.
But yeah, look inward first.
That's a great point. I definitely second that. Have you ever met someone at the wrong time but wish it could have worked out later?
No, I've never had a right person, wrong time. Not to say that it's not possible. I've just never experienced it. Have you?
I thought that that was my situation in the past, but time and time again told it still wasn't your man. It was not the right person for me. Like, so yeah, no, I believe honestly now, if it just didn't work out before, leave it alone.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know. And I know there are those success stories that do make it when they've gone like 5+ years without talking and they reconnect and they're able to build a beautiful life. That's gorgeous and that's wonderful, but I do believe there's a small percentage of actual successful, healthy, whole relationships. I think they're more toxic than anything just because, there's a lot of, I hate to say it, a lot of baggage and history that you've been through. And not, when you're in a relationship or, some type of whatever your situation is, not everyone is whole as much as they portray to be, right? Or you think that they are. And so if that person has not really worked on themselves and you think that they're going to really work with you in your guys' relationship, you're kind of wrong at times. So
Yeah. And I think, and I've even done this in the past, is I guess it's two things. Part of spinning the block has to do with just going back to what's familiar, because what's familiar is what's comfortable. And the second part is like being alone. Being alone is uncomfortable, right? So I feel like sometimes a lot of people spin the block, not because the timing was right and the person just changed so much. It's like, oh, well, I'm tired of being alone, or I tried to date someone else, it didn't work out, so I don't want to be alone. So let me go back to what I know.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's likely not what's best for you. But
Yeah.
spending time alone and for an extended period of time, not dating, not talking to anyone, your phone is dry, it gets lonely.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's a necessary period, especially if you have just gotten out of a situation. But it's a necessary time to just focus on yourself. But like we talk about all the time, people don't want to be alone with their own thoughts. They don't want to work on themselves. They don't want to look inward. And so it's just easy to go back to what's familiar. And I feel like that a lot of times is what it is. Like, bless the people that separate, date other people, work on themselves. They've grown, evolved, they've changed, and then the timing's right, and then they get back together. That's great. But I feel like that's not the case a lot of times for people that do try to spin the block.
No, I mean, and that's very true because a lot of people really cannot be alone. And we talk about all the time how we're just so comfortable and confident and are fine with being alone. You know what I mean? Like, I enjoy people's presence, but no offense, I sometimes enjoy just being by myself, right? But not everyone's like that. And another thing, just to piggyback off of what you said, I even would find myself in the past thinking like, oh my God, like, should I go back? Like, he's texting, like, should I give it another shot? You know what I mean? Or you have those moments where you think about a person and they may come up in your mind time and time again. And I always tell myself, it's like, okay, if you continuously think about that person, I don't know, then like, maybe you give it another shot. Maybe. But this is, mind you, this is my old thinking. But if I would like...
Thank you for the caveat.
Yeah. Because it's like, girl, you just contradict yourself. My apologies. This is my old self, how I would think. But I'm like, if I wouldn't think about it more than a day, then it's like, don't text that person. I'm just trying to say, like, sometimes I think we have vulnerable spaces in our life and points where we text someone without really thinking about it. And I'm like, sleep on it. And if you're still thinking about that individual the next day, then maybe you send that text. But sometimes I think you need to sleep on it because we all have drunk moments or just moments of just like, I don't know, I'm just in a low place where I'm like, I'm gonna text him or I'm gonna text her or whatever it may be. So
I think another thing too is a lot of times I feel like what men will do is just circle back to see if you're still dumb. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, remember the times we used to, or, they show back up as their representative, as I say, and then it doesn't last. Yeah, because they want to see if you're still silly. I'll say.
Yeah. And I do agree with that. And I think it's unfortunate, right? Because it's like, damn, we're just like, sometimes you're thinking, oh, he came back because he loved me. He want me. It's like, girl, no, because he just knows that you're going to actually respond.
Because two things. One, which I feel like a lot of people maybe don't want to hear, is like, they will literally just do that out of boredom and curiosity.
Yeah.
Like not even, or even loneliness themselves. To me, when somebody's like, hey, long time, no. It's like you either just got broken up with and you don't want to be alone. You don't want to sit with your feelings. You're bored, or you want some sort of validation. And I'm not going to validate you by responding.
Yeah.
And you always laugh at me blocking, but that is why I will block, because you're not about to just reach out to me so that I can make you feel validated. You're not going to use me for validation because you're bored, because you just got your heart broken. No.
I like that. Go use somebody else.
Right. And so for me, that's where the blocking is about. Like, it's not even about being petty. It's about people really are leeches.
Yeah.
And they just want access to your energy
Yep.
to validate themselves, whatever, make themselves feel better, whatever it is at their convenience. And I'm not going to give you that.
Yeah.
Because I just feel like access to me, my energy, whatever, is a privilege. And if you lost that privilege, you don't just get to, oh, let me see what she's doing because I'm feeling down and out today. No, you will never get access to me again. And yeah. So that's just how I see it, because I people do that. Just want access to you again to make themselves feel good. And to me, that actually feels very icky.
No, it
You know
really
what I mean?
is. It's like sticky icky.
Yeah.
Like, ugh. I also kind of blame social media in the way more people spin the block than maybe they previously did in the older generation. Just because with social media, it's so quick to see your old crush post a hot photo or whatever, and then you're like, oh, I'm gonna swipe up or I'm gonna heart it. You know what I mean? I feel like sometimes social media, it makes it harder for you to move on from a person because you have constant access to them, regardless if you follow each other or not. Like, so many people snoop on each other's pages. Like we were just talking about it last episode. Random people in my story that literally have no followers, no avatar. And it's like, who is this? You know what I mean? And so I do think sometimes social media makes it harder for you to actually move on. And it's like, that's one of the things I tell my friends. I'm like, if you're still going on his Instagram and looking, you're not over it. And that's a big part of the healing journey too, is like completely cut yourself off from looking at their social media.
I agree. And that's another reason there's so many positives to blocking.
Dang, you block. Oh, you block on social and the phone?
Yes, because to me, it's also like out of sight, out of mind too, for that very reason. Like if you want to move on, it's much harder when they can still like your story, swipe up.
Yes.
You can still keep up with their every move based off of what they're posting on social media. Like, no.
Yeah.
Get them out of your sight so that eventually they will get out of your mind.
Exactly.
And so that's also why I block too.
Yeah. Because it was like, let's be honest. Men, it's easy for them to quickly like a story, say something. It's like, no, you literally have. I agree. Like, I'm very big on that.
And I think women read into it way too much.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he's planting a seed. He liked my story. Like, girl, no.
I've literally seen men just swipe heart.
Exactly.
Heart, swipe heart, swipe heart. I'm like,
They don't care.
It's
like whoever responds is like jackpot.
No, literally. They really talk about, damn, you look good. Next. Heart, shit, fire, emo. Next one, hard eyes. Like, I've actually literally seen it from like homeboys. I'm like, I hate it here. And they're doing it with one thumb, like just like this. I'm like, damn. And we over here like, oh.
He wants me back. Let me post another selfie. Like,
hello?
Girl, no. Do not post another selfie for validation or attention.
Right. Do you feel like your 30s make you more intentional about love or more cautious?
I feel like they're one and the same.
I agree. I was going to say both.
Because, yeah, being intentional, I feel like in a way is being cautious. You're being careful.
Yeah.
You're paying attention to details. You're not walking around with rose-colored glasses on. You're being realistic. So I kind of feel like they're one and the same. Once you get to a point of, like we said, relinquishing control, then it becomes more about, like we were just saying, single but not desperate.
Yes.
Whereas I feel like some people just want it so badly, then you have the rose-colored glasses on, then you make poor decisions, you overlook things, you're dodging red flags left and right. Whereas when you grow and evolve and mature in your 30s, then you are paying attention to those red flags. You are moving with caution. You are being realistic about, like, is this somebody that I could be with long term? You like value your time so much more.
Yes.
And your peace. Yes. Protecting your peace makes you more intentional and more cautious because you don't want to waste your own time. You know, I feel like a big lesson you learn in your 20s is just how such a bad toxic situation can bring you down so much and make you lose focus and get you off track.
Yep.
And now I feel like I don't have time for that. Like, if you're disturbing my peace to the point where I can't focus on things that I need to be focused on, then this is not the situation for me.
I do believe that you have to be more intentional and more cautious in your 30s because, like we say all the time, I have shit to lose, for one. For two, by the age of 30, most of us know what direction we're actually going in this life. So it's like, you need to know, hey, what is your game plan for the future? And it's big to know, like, do we align? Like, are we going the same direction? Because now it's like, I don't have time to just date around. It's like, I'm dating to build this empire, right? So it's like, I need to know, is that what you're trying to do too?
Mm-hmm.
Or are you just trying to chase your passions that don't pay or whatever that is? You know, that type of stuff. So I definitely am like, no, against those. But also, yes, being more intentional. Do I like you always? Like, are you adaptable? Like we talked about before. Can I take you to church, be around my family, work events, home life, friends? Like, do I like you in every setting? And also, I think it's figuring out, do you like that person through the good and the bad, right? Because there's times where your partner may upset you about certain things, but if you genuinely like that person for who they are, you'll push through it versus completely cutting them off because it's like, they gave me the ick or that turned me off.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think it's a part of being really intentional with the type of person that you're dealing with, because not every day is a beautiful day in a relationship or a marriage. So it's all about finding that person that you can push through. And when you guys do lay your head on the pillow at night, it's like, all right, we good. Like, we can move past that.
Yeah. I think another thing too about maturing and being more realistic, I feel like in my 20s, I maybe had some bit of like naivety where, to your point, if things weren't aligning, you just like hoped one day that they would.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, okay, this isn't going to work. It was nice knowing you. No hard feelings. Moving on. It's like I ended up wasting time hoping things would align or hoping something would change. And that's dumb.
Yes. Yes. And let's be honest, I think the older you get as a woman, you realize that you cannot change a man. Like, you can do your best to pour into them, help them, support them, but you cannot actually change a man. That man has to want to change for himself. And that's something I think as women, we've all maybe potentially have been through, where you do think that you can do all this and it's going to change them. And it's like, no.
Mm-hmm.
If he don't want to do it, he's not.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the sad truth. I think that's definitely a big lesson that I learned about men in my 20s.
Yeah. Just like it is what it is.
If he wanted to, he would.
And I do agree with people when they say that saying is not 100% true. I think there is complexity around the if he wanted to, he would. Sometimes men will sell you a dream early on and they'll show up in one way, but it's in a way that they can't be consistent with. I guess maybe in a sense that is love bombing.
That energy sometimes in the beginning, yeah, they definitely don't have it moving forward.
Right. The people that are love bombing, it does feel good to them. Like, some people do it to be manipulative, right? But some people, they genuinely do like you. But love bombing is also an very insecure thing to do, right? Because it's like, I need to do all of this over the top stuff to make you like me.
Yeah.
When a confident person is going to show up as themselves, and if you like them, great. If you don't like them, great. I think people show up like that and doing all that grand stuff, and it's actually out of insecurity, but that's not sustainable. And I'm not saying you should show grace for that. Like, either way, that's not somebody you should be with either. Somebody that can't be consistent. But a lot of people are avoidant. So it's not even about if he wanted to, he would. Some people just straight up have trauma that makes them avoid getting too close to people. And like the more I've like read, I've like actually read a book about like attachment styles and all of that. And one thing that I learned about people that have an avoidant attachment styles is they do come in hot and heavy. Because at the end of the day, everybody wants closeness.
Right.
Everybody wants human connection. So like they meet someone and they're excited about it and it's like it moves quickly and then they love bomb and whatever. But then their inner child is like, hold on. I've been taught that getting close to people is not safe.
Mm-hmm.
And then they keep you, and then they give you whiplash because they keep you at arm's length at that point and they're inconsistent. Like they want to be close to you. And then so one day it's good. And then literally the next day they'll be like, I'm not ready for this.
Yeah.
You know? And so that's where I'm saying if he wanted to, he would is very nuanced because that's trauma. And I don't like, they need to go to therapy. I'm not saying that you need to show grace for the if he wanted to, he would. No. If somebody's inconsistent, period, that's a problem.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying trauma and attachment styles and all of that is what makes if he wanted to, he would complicated.
And honestly, I think the point that you're making is actually very accurate. And I think it's interesting because like it's like, it sounds like it could create definitely a whole full on just like conversation for real.
Yeah. And honestly, that was one of the worst situations I've ever been in, was dating someone with an avoidant attachment style. Because we could hang out for a whole weekend. And it was like a great weekend and you're thinking everything was great, whatever.
You got closer.
Yeah.
You go in the right direction.
Right. And this is like prior to it being in a relationship, but dating, whatever. And in your mind, you're thinking, okay, we're probably going to be in a relationship soon. So then after that weekend, you know, you have a conversation and they're like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to be ready anytime soon. And it literally gives you whiplash. It's very traumatic.
Yeah.
And that's their own trauma, right? Because deep down, they probably do want, like, in my case, like, I do think he did want to be in a relationship with me, but people have trauma, like, that makes it very scary for them, or you have trauma and you've been coping with it in a certain way for your whole life. And so, yeah, I'm not condoning wasting your time in those situations or showing those people grace. I'm condoning praying for them that they go to therapy and heal that, but don't waste your own time. But don't, if he wanted to, he would, because sometimes sometimes it is that, but sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
Like sometimes people just have their shit and you don't deserve that shit. And that's what it is.
You don't deserve that shit in your life.
Right.
I've definitely been there before where I've talked about it on here before, as far as like, I can't believe I was sadly dating a man on and off for years. And it was that exact situation where it's like, he would kind of bring me close and I'm like, oh, wow, we're finally on the right path. We're finally going to get in a relationship. And then it's like, as soon as there was like that super closeness, he'd push me away again.
Yeah.
To the point, at one point, he literally admitted it. He was just like, I don't know, like I find myself wanting to be with you so bad. But then it's like, he's like, I just have these trust issues. And I'm like, he's like, it's nothing against you. It's just my past. I'm like, dude, like I've been showing up and I have been the same individual from the beginning of time. But sometimes it's kind of like, for a man, it's like they don't believe, especially when they have a lot of trauma, that maybe it doesn't get this good, that there aren't as genuine women in the world like myself or whatever it may be. And that breaks my heart because there's times where you prove yourself so much to a person and it's still never going to be good enough for them. And you have to walk away before you hurt your own self, because I hurt myself badly with that, to where it really messed with my confidence and self-esteem, especially when it came to dating men. I'm like, oh my God, like, am I not who I thought I was?
No, it really, and I mean this with my entire soul. I will never date anybody with an avoidant attachment style ever again in my life. It is very traumatizing. It gives you literal whiplash.
Yeah.
Like for things to be great literally 1 second and then the next second they get so fearful that they feel like they need to keep you at arm's length.
Yeah.
When literally a couple days before that you felt extremely close. It's very traumatic.
Yeah.
And it does affect your self-esteem because it makes you feel like, what is wrong with me, or why can't they commit to, and I think something that they do that is the reason why it can affect your self-esteem, at least in my situation, it kind of made me feel like he made me feel like I had more to prove.
Yep.
And it got to the point where I was like, I don't have anything left to prove.
Yes.
It's been months. I've shown up. This is who I am. If you want to be with me, you do. If you don't, you don't. Oh. But like sometimes there could just be little comments like, you need to, and then you'll be good. Yep. And it's just like, no, I'm good as I am.
Yeah.
If that's not good enough for you, okay. But I realized over time and in like healing from that situation, it's just, they will grab onto excuses to still keep you at arm's length because that's what feels safe to them.
Right.
My advice to anybody going through any situation similar is like, number one, you deserve better. And number two, don't internalize any of it. It's not about you.
Yeah.
And honestly, get out before you start to have those thoughts, because then you have to work through that. And yeah, it's traumatizing dealing with someone like that for an extended period of time.
No, it truly is. It truly is. And I honestly don't wish it on my worst enemy. It's definitely hard. Yeah. Just thinking about it, it's like, woo.
For the longest time, I was mad because it's like, why are you wasting my time? Why did you waste so much of my time? Right? Because it feels like that. One, because they love bomb you in the beginning. But two, they're saying things that they want to be with you, whatever. And I don't want to feed into anyone's delusions, but like it very well like is true. Mm-hmm. They do want that, but they don't know how to receive love and be close to somebody without it feeling traumatic to them.
Yeah.
And so as I've like come to terms with the situation, because this was years ago now, it almost makes me feel bad for you. Like you will never, unless you actually go to therapy and work on yourself, which this is the same person that like went to therapy twice and was like, oh, no, I'm good. It's like, you haven't even cracked the surface, but okay. Mm-hmm. But like, it actually makes me feel bad. Like you will never actually like feel that sort of love of feeling close to somebody because you have a lot of trauma. And that's actually very sad. It's just like the way people treat you a lot of times has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's actually very sad that is the way that your inner child feels like you need to handle love and closeness. Like that's actually, I feel very bad for you, and whatever happened to you in your childhood, that's how you felt the need to cope. Nope, and so that's how I look at it now. And it's still, you're still blocked. Godspeed. But hope you're working on yourself and that you feel better.
Still blocked.
Yeah, no, because at the end of the day, traumatic.
Trust me. I get it. Let's get into a little bit of like emotional maturity and self-awareness. What does emotional maturity look like in a relationship to you?
One, your ability to have healthy conflict resolution. And number two, your ability to sit in your own feelings. Because I feel like uncomfortable feelings come up in a relationship, past traumas. And inadvertently, if you're spending a lot of time with someone, eventually you're going to do or say something that hurts their feelings or triggers them. Like it's going to happen. Can that person sit in their feelings and articulate the way that you made them feel in a healthy way? Or do they lash out? Do they storm out? Do they, make you feel like crap for maybe something that was inadvertent or you didn't know was a trigger to them? I think sitting with your feelings is important because sometimes, and I've had to learn to do this, in any friendships, it doesn't matter, as a person who can be sensitive, is not like, are my feelings valid, but like, am I being sensitive? And this is something that I just need to deal with in myself? Or is this something worth bringing up? Because picking your battles is important in a relationship. And it's like, okay, can I sit with this and get over it? Or is this something I need to bring up because it's going to fester within me and it's going to affect the longevity of the relationship? Or, or I actually feel very severely disrespected by it or traumatized by it, whatever it is. Or is this something that I can just sit with my feelings for a second and move on? Because you can't I do feel like part of being emotionally mature in a relationship or it being healthy is like, you're not going to like every single thing somebody does, but you do need to pick which ones that you choose to bring up, because you cannot bring up every single thing that that person does that bothers you. You can't.
Thank you for that.
Yes.
I needed
Virgo
to hear
queen.
that.
Virgo queen.
Because I be trying. I'm a work in progress on that for sure. But you're so right. You can't. But it's kind of funny you say that, because I was just telling someone that yesterday. Like, you really do. You have to. I've learned to, before I react, think about it first, try to cool off, and then ask yourself, is it worth addressing? Is it still bothering me?
Right.
Or can I just let it slide? Because I know you know, like, when it comes to like your partner or whatever, your relationship, it's just not worth bringing up everything. Like, it's just not. So I think that's great advice. And I think that's something that I had to learn, honestly. For me, it's also, I've talked about it before, as far as just not really expressing how I felt and just kind of like deading a situation. It's like, actually, no, let's talk this through. Let's have an adult conversation, face to face, eye to eye, and let's really talk it out. Like, how are you feeling? How are you thinking? Versus trying to shut it down, knowing that there's conflict and tension, and you're just walking away from the situation. Like, I'm just gonna walk away, and when I come back, if things should just be cooled off. But, you know, that just comes from, we all have just traumas and bad habits from just our upbringings that we do bring in our relationships. And so some of those things are definitely revealed, and you have to kind of break those generational curses. That is definitely one of mine. So I think that's my number 2. But yeah, I do have a stubbornness about me. So that's something that is important to acknowledge and work through. And I really didn't think I had it, but I definitely do. And you know, those things come out when you're in a relationship and you're in a healthy relationship and you're with someone that actually challenges you and looks you in the eye and they're like, wait a minute now. Like, you definitely tried it.
I'm pretty big on, I'm like, ooh, I didn't like that. But I'm like, I'm finding it. Let me register it.
Yeah.
And if I feel like it's worth bringing up, then I'm very big on, can I talk to you about something?
Yeah. With a smile.
Yeah. And I think but that is easier to receive than being reactive, or like taking space if you need it is fine. That's not what I'm saying. But I think maybe in my more immature or less mature, I don't think I've ever been immature, but my less mature days, you know, I might start, I don't want to say start acting different, but I think I choose my battles, but I think I've gotten better at trying to articulate things in the moment, but in a mature way, and not like why would you say that? You know, but more
with that face.
Yeah.
In that tone.
But yeah, I've gotten better. Like, well, like, did you have to say it that way? Because that made me feel X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And I think that sort of communication is necessary and important on both parties. And one thing that I always try to do with people in general is assuming positive intent. And I think you have to do that in your relationship, especially if you have past trauma. It's very easy to get offended very quickly and get mad and whatever when somebody says something the way you don't like, or says something you don't like, whatever it is. If you have trauma, I think it's very important to assume positive intent. Like, and remember, no, this person loves me. This person cares about me. They did not mean it to hurt me.
Yeah.
And then talk about it in a mature way. I think a lot of times, because people have trauma, they automatically assume the worst. And then that's when you get reactive and da-da-da-da. It's like, no, if you are in a relationship with somebody, I'm going to assume that you know that they don't want to hurt you and that they care about your feelings.
Right.
So don't be reactive in such a way where the second they say or do something that you don't like, you're assuming the worst. You're assuming that they want to disrespect you, that they want to hurt you. And that's something I always try to keep top of mind. And that's why I take the, can I talk to you about something approach? Because assuming that person like just was being reckless and didn't care about your feelings, or that they lack tact in that moment, it on the flip side, if you're on the other side of that, I think it can make that person feel attacked.
Yeah.
Or like you're being extremely critical of them. And it's like, oh, I didn't even mean to do that. Like, I'm sorry. But when you react, it escalates it more. Then it no
Right.
longer becomes about what the initial problem was, right? Because
Right.
if you say something I don't like, I react, then you're reacting to me reacting, and then we're reacting to each other. And it's the original problem got lost. You know?
Very true. Well, with that being said, why don't we wrap up this episode with what's something that you've learned about love in your 30s that you wish you knew sooner?
I mean, this sounds corny, but definitely you're not asking for too much. You're not expecting too much. It's just not the right person. Because I just feel like the way in my current relationship, the way we communicate, I expected people to do that in the past, and they literally made it such a problem. And like now I'm like, why the hell did I ever deal with that?
Yeah.
It's just like the random calls throughout the day to check in, the checking in when you get home, texts about, oh, I'm going to whatever. To me, it's just communication.
Yeah.
But some people in past relationships, I feel like have looked at it like, why do you need to, and now I'm just like, this feels so normal.
Right.
And in the past, I used to feel like, well, damn, am I being too needy or whatever, anxious?
Right.
And yeah, no, it was just the wrong person.
It be like that. I think one of the things I've learned for sure when it comes to just love and relationships is, how can I put it into words? What makes you happy, what makes you fulfilled is not what someone else may possibly be fulfilled or like. And so it's important to, as long as you're happy, that's all that matters. And there are a lot of people that will try to tell you about your person or tell you about your relationship when in fact, maybe they're not in a relationship or they're not in your relationship. Therefore, they don't know what's really going on. And so it's definitely important to, as long as you're happy and you're fulfilled, that's all that matters. And don't take what other people outside noise is saying about your situation, because it's like, no one really knows how your relationship is or your partner is besides you and them, because that's who you're with all the time or spending time with. I think it's one thing I'm learning right now is just people are going to have their opinions, but do not internalize it. Do not take it literal, and don't let it affect what you have going on. Like, if it works for you and you're happy, leave it at that. And as we talked about before, it's like, keep the things that you love close to you and keep them private. There's nothing wrong with privacy, because you do start to realize that people don't want the best for you. People don't like when you're happy. People don't like when you're loved, to be honest. And I'm speaking from my own experience right now. And you have to keep the things that you love close to you and private, but also protect it and defend it always. Because it's like, when it comes to the things that I love, I'm going to protect it to the end of time and do not play with that. And I think it's important to not let people play about your relationship or your person or your partner. It's like, protect that person at all cost.
Damn. You got something to get off your chest? Who played with Ashlyn this week? Who played with Ashlyn this week? Come to the front.
Thank you guys for coming to my TED Talk. I didn't expect to go there, but I don't know. I was just talking to another person about that yesterday, and I was just giving one of my young friends advice on that, because she was just talking about her relationship and a new guy she was talking to. And something came up and I was just telling her that, and because it's something that I've been going through.
So I have a question about that then. Mm-hmm. How do you decipher between somebody who's like judging, not happy for you, and somebody who has your best interests at heart, but maybe is saying something that they feel like you might need to hear that you might not want to hear? Mm-hmm. How do you like, where's the discernment there?
And that is a hard question, because I do listen, but also I do listen and I take notes on certain things, but also I realize, like, when people aren't really in your day-to-day relationship, so they don't really know everything. And if you don't share everything with everyone, then they don't really know what's really going on. So they're just assuming. And it's like, but you don't know why people do this or do that or are that way. And that's honestly a question I'm asking myself too. It's like, where do I draw the line with, is it actually trying to give me advice, or are you just kind of being shady? But it's hard. But also, for a little more context, we don't, like, when it comes to relationships, it's like, no offense, none of us are really taking advice from our other friends that are definitely not in relationships and maybe are even in relationships. But it's like, we want to talk to people that have been married for a while and that have really been there, done that. So when people around me say certain things, I'm like, okay, and you know more than me because, like, no offense. And that's just how I feel. I feel like we're all figuring this out. Mm-hmm. And I will take things into consideration, but I'm not going to be like, yeah, you're right. You're right.
I mean, and at the end of the day, it ain't them in the relationship. It's you. It's your life. So, yeah. You know, it is what it is. Unless something is actually harming you,
right?
Then that's different.
Exactly.
But as long as your friend is happy and not harming themselves, even if it's not something you would do, I feel like more and more I take the just mind my business approach.
Literally, like, just mind your own business. Because I'm the same way. I'm like, ooh, child, well, listen, let me know what I can do for you. Yeah. You want to close this out with a mantra moment?
Indeed.
Today's mantra moment is, love after 30 hits different because now you choose from wholeness.
Yes.
Straight, that's accurate. Simple, to the point.
That's accurate. You're not choosing out of loneliness, desperation, insecurity, trauma. That person, I like to say, at least in the dating stage, is not competing with other people.
Yeah.
They're competing with your peace.
Yeah.
Because you are whole on your own.
Exactly.
Amen. All right. Thank you for tuning in. That concludes our series.
Yes.
Woo. 4 parts. Please don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, follow us on all platforms at Suburban Black Girl Pod. Email us at suburbanblackgirlpod@gmail.com. And we will see you next week with a special guest.
Yes. Can't wait. See y'all next week. Bye.
Bye.